Boom! We watched water like really flowing out. Then I came in all falling out. Who had to go? Any pictures? Them up.
Find them. You'll find them.
We'll put the fucking fire out so we can go home.
Is this a drill or what?
Hey, coming down to a
firefighters from 8 departments battle the blaze.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marilyn Sheriff. Following the explosion in Floral Park, nearby homes and businesses are evacuated as a safety precaution. We'll have all the details.
I'm Mike Zimmett.
Police officials say it in a residential area of Floral Park exploded due to a gas leak. Police officials say at about 8:25 they received numerous complaints about a strong smell of gas emanating from the bowling alley. They responded immediately by safely evacuating residents in the apartments above the establishment, but then the building blew, injuring one fireman and spreading gas throughout the vicinity.
Spread through both the sewers and through the phone lines. And essentially with the frozen ground, the gas just finds the easiest way of travel and goes right along that sewer line.
Though under control, the fire continues to burn. Shortly after the explosion, the Nassau police began evacuating residents over a several square block area, and they brought them here to the Sewanaka Central High School. There were at least 100 people here by about 11 o'clock.
I heard the police cars going up and down the street, so I called my friend on Fern Street, and she said there had been a terrible explosion, and she was supposed to evacuate. So I quickly went upstairs and decided I'd better get dressed.
Did you hear it?
Yes, I did. I thought maybe it was my burner, but I went down to check, and there was nothing wrong with it, and I had the TV on, and it went out. And I had made several calls, and everybody seemed to, their lights went out for some reason or other. We just didn't know why.
Later in the day, other shelters were set up at a local church and 2 village halls. In total, 140 homes have been abandoned. 8 to 10 blocks remain without power. 7 fire departments were called in to fight the blaze. Throughout the morning, Lilco workers were on the scene trying to determine the source of the leak. In the late afternoon, officials, including County Executive Thomas Gulata, Floral Park Mayor Tom Hayden, and Lilco Executive Ira Freilicher met behind closed doors to discuss the severity of the situation. They later informed the press that the source of the leak has just about been pinpointed.
Once we have located and clamped the leak, then we have a difficult procedure, because after we're ready to turn the gas on into people's homes, we've got to go into each home and make sure that the appliances are relit properly, because when the gas was shut off, the pilot lights have probably gone out, and we don't want to turn the gas on into a house only to cause a danger inside the house.
After a gas leak was reported just minutes before the first blast hit.
The situation is bad right now. We got no gas, electricity, everything is out.
We now have representatives from the telephone company, from the Long Island Lighting Company, 10 fire departments here, trying to ascertain precisely where the gas is coming from, how bad the leakage is. Once Lilco turns all the gas off, makes the repairs that are necessary, our problem then will be to contact all the homeowners, get them back into their homes, because every single home has to be checked.
Now, those living closest to the blast were evacuated immediately and taken here to Sewanaka High School, which was transformed into an emergency shelter.
I was sleeping. I had the bedroom window open and heard the police saying, evacuate your house. So I woke up the rest of the family, and here we are.
I was just like in my house, and we heard a big bang, and my brother ran outside and said there was smoke. We thought it was a gas station right near the bowling alley.
Although a gas leak is suspected, it may be days until the exact cause of the explosion is known. Meanwhile, for the residents of this normally quiet Nassau County village, today will be one Super Bowl Sunday not soon forgotten. Doug Spiro, News 4, Long Island.
And it certainly is fortunate that the bowling alley had not yet opened for the day's business, so there was nobody inside when the explosion took place.
Most of those people were evacuated, and some ended up here at the Floral Park Belrose Elementary School in Belrose. While the mood was not cheerful, most were coping with it.
I figured this is the place to get information. I have no idea when we can go back, and I can't get anywhere near my house to see how things are.
And something to eat. Necessary. I'll have a place to sleep, I guess. But I'm still hoping, you know, that might possibly still be able to get out of here tonight, but I still have no idea.
Everyone at the evacuation, much more than a memory.
This used to be a bowling alley. Now only part of a wall and some twisted rubble remain here on the corner of Tulip and Rath Avenues in Floral Park, Long Island. At about 8:30 this morning, the local fire department was called here to investigate what they were told was a serious gas leak.
Approximately 20 minutes after our arrival, as we started to evacuate the area, the bowling alley totally exploded with 2 explosions. One took out the front of the building, the second one took the roof and collapsed the building into the basement.
Only moments before the blast, firemen had taken 3 people from their apartment above the lanes. No one was killed in the explosion, but about a dozen people were injured. Elmont fireman Chuck Schriefer had been standing on the back of his fire truck getting ready to look for the gas leak.
And the next thing we know, something just blew. That was it.
He was hit in the face with metal fragments. Floral Park firefighter Bob LaFaro was walking with Fire Captain Paul Pinto when the gas went up. Captain Pinto's leg was broken in 2 places.
And both of us were thrown a couple of feet. He looked up at me and said, "Thank God that we're still all right. You know, where we were, it could have been a lot worse."
300 firemen from 11 departments were on the scene. Some contained the blaze, others banged on doors in the neighborhood.
Firemen evacuated homes in a 5-square-block area around the bowling alley. Many of those evacuated were taken to Sawarnaga High School.
Some evacuees gathered in the school's auditorium sharing takeout food. Others walked the halls that were lighted by emergency generators. Electricity, gas, and phone service was cut off in the area. However, spirits were good. People said they were lucky no one was killed.
I'm afraid to go back home until they tell me, of course, that it's all right.
They are the Long Island Lighting Company people, and they tell us everyone should be back in their homes late tonight. Frank Grimes, Channel 5 News.
10 hours to end a fire caused by an underground gas leak in Floral Park. It started at 8:30 this morning and ended at 6:30 in the evening. And though no serious injuries were reported, it did take a serious toll. 14 firefighters suffered smoke inhalation and 1 a dislocated shoulder. A total of 1,280 homes still are without electricity. Most of those people were evacuated, and some ended up here at the Floral Park Belt.
It all happened very quickly. Shortly before 9 a.m., a series of explosions leveled the Floral Park lanes, a community landmark on Tulip Avenue. Emergency crews routed some residents from their homes after a gas leak was reported just minutes before the first blast hit.
The situation is bad right now. We got no gas, electricity.
And fire Sunday morning. The cause of the gas leak was a 4-inch gash in one of the main gas pipelines. Area residents were evacuated from their homes due to danger from the gas leak. Lilco Vice President Ira Freilicher explained why it took so long to get residents back into their homes.
So they ran in their nightgowns and bare feet.
We were upstairs sleeping when I saw the firemen arrive. They were standing around for a few minutes before it exploded. And then there was just a huge puff, and the firemen were running, and they were dragging. Some of them had been knocked down. They were pulling them, and they just said to run, that it's going to spread. And we just went out in our bare feet and our nightgowns, and we ran with the firemen up the block for a block or so. And we just stood and watched.
The explosion, which looked like a firebomb, according to officials on the scene, demolished the Tulip Hill bowling alley. But luckily, the Sewell house right next door was spared.
My first reaction was that I was lucky to be out alive, or we were standing in the snowdrift in bare feet just watching. We didn't have any place to go. I was just lucky we got out. And then I was lucky that most, the house seems to be all right at this point. And that was my second concern. I thought, truthfully, when I saw the fire, that everything was gone. And you just kind of accept it.
In all, 200 residents were told to evacuate their homes for the night. Others left as well, unwilling to spend a day without electricity or gas.
I had left my front lights on over the front entrance, and I was happy to see that they were lit. When I came back, and the gas man, the man from Lilco, was working next door, and that I had access to him, and he's in here turning our gas back on now.
Some families lost not only their gas and electricity, but their phone service as well. Repair crews expect to work around the clock for about a week, but they say most families will have this service back within a few days.
We've blown out the whole manhole, and then we have to reconstruct the manhole completely. But the main thing is to make the area safe right now, and to make for the workers to be safe to work in there.
As far as the safety of area residents is concerned, Lilco says all of the gas lines in the neighborhood have been tested, and one which was found cracked has been replaced. But company officials are not sure if the faulty pipe was the cause or simply the result of the explosion. Meanwhile, the charred remains of the Tulip Hill bowling alley sit under a blanket of snow, providing neighborhood kids with a new place to play. In Floral Park, I'm Mary Musey, News 12, Long Island.
or something?
Stu knows about that stuff. Hey, over here. No sugar. My mother wants to see my face. 172, Captain 1700. See me blow the rest of the floor?
We're on Sunset and Landau working our way to Oak. Medical Command Post 174.
What's that? Let him go. Go ahead.
You want me to go up and start tightening that thing up or what?
Yeah, take a check. It's normal, guys.
What time should this be on? It's in 6?
You're looking for the gas main.
discussed it. I mean, a lot of them